You've tuned in to the Beyond Hope podcast, your access to success strategies and more to help you survive and thrive through your loved one's addiction challenges while you move onward and upward with your life.
Hey everyone,
now
welcome
here's your
to the
host,
show.
Shar Jones.
I am here in Long Beach, Washington, which is about 3 hours from my home. I came here for a couple of nights over the Memorial Day weekend. Just kind of packed up my dog and he and I hit the road, and we've been staying here for a couple of nights. We leave tomorrow. But it's been really good. Doing a lot of walking on the beach and a lot of reflecting. The last time I was here, I was visiting my daughter. She attended treatment out here a couple of years ago. And just thinking back to that time and what was happening then, and I think I thought I was going to be a lot more impacted emotionally by being here, but actually I've felt a lot of peace. And I think the hardest part for me was the actual drive here. There are so many twists and turns to the drive and so many memorable points, you know, like going around these different curves and turns and then seeing the water and the trees and going over this bridge and all these sorts of things to get you here. And so I made so many drives here while she was attending treatment. You know, there was a couple of times where I actually would drive here and back in one day. And I remember feeling so hopeful and inspired, kind of watching the progress that was happening. When she came here, she went to detox at a hospital, which is about an hour from here, and they transported her to the treatment center after the detox program ended. And I just remember what that entailed to get her to detox during that time. And that was a very, very difficult time. She was withdrawing so bad, and she was such a flight risk, and just having, you know, waiting for the bed to open up and having to basically just stay with her and keep an eye on her at all times so that she wouldn't run. She was just literally a bag of bones at that time. She was so thin, and the drive, you know, making that drive with a withdrawing heroin addict, you know, taking her to the hospital for the detoxing, what that entailed, and, you know, getting her all the way there, and then just, you know, watching her mind spin as she's wanting to, you know, she's changing her mind. She doesn't want to go in, and reminding her, you know, what got her there. And I just remember this transition at that point was just to this little child. She was so scared, and I just remember her being wrapped in a blanket and the tears and her not wanting me to leave. And so then after the detox program, they then found her a bed at, it's called Clean with a K, K-L-E-A-N, Clean in Long Beach, Washington. They transferred her there, and she was there for probably about 6 weeks or so. And I would just come out every weekend and visit her, and that was a really incredible time. There's something really exciting about when they're in treatment and you feel like they're safe and they're getting their needs met. And as a parent, being able to go visit them and watching that process. It's when they're getting ready to leave that I think it's the scariest. When she was at Clean, she actually was transported back to King County to deal with some warrant issues, and she relapsed shortly thereafter. So that was not easy. And it's so crazy when I'm trying to remember back to when that was. But I think it was about 2 years ago. And I remember coming here, and she was here over Mother's Day, and she had collected she had this glass heart bowl and she had collected these heart-shaped rocks. And I remember her giving those to me when I was here. And, just that being a very special time. Here we are 2 years later, and I feel like right now she is actually, further along than she has been. It's like all these little tools that she's picked up along the way are all kind of coming together where she is now. But if you are like me, and you've been through any of this with the relapsing and the treatment and all of that, we've been going through this for years now, almost 6 years of actual treatment programs and whatnot, then you know as well as I do how high the relapse rate is. And that's a very real possibility that she may not complete this program. The cool thing is that I have done so much healing that I understand the risk, and I am able to truly turn that over to her. One thing that I was thinking about on my way over here is this idea. I had a conversation with a friend of mine at work the other day, and we were talking about where she's at in her treatment program and how long she's, got left, and the fact that I'm hoping to go back and visit her at Christmas, and at that time she'll have been there for a whole year. That blows my mind. But this treatment program is about 2 years. 2 to 2.5 years typically is how long that they will stay. And she was asking me what was going to happen after that. Would she come home and stay with me until she got on her feet and whatnot? And that question was so far removed from my thinking right now. And the cool thing, my answer to that was really, that's not even on my radar. And it depends. And I remember early on that, as a mom, it depends. That answer would not have been acceptable for me. I need to know what needed to happen for her to get fixed. We need to cure her of this addiction. And what is that? What do we got to do to make that happen? And now, this many years later, being okay with the answer is that it depends. It depends on her and her situation and where's she going to be at that time? And I just don't even know. That's not for me to figure out, you guys. Like, I don't have to take that on. That's not my stuff. Does that make sense? When I said it out loud to her, I felt like maybe it made me a bad parent or something. There was that old inner voice that came up, like, if she needs me, of course I'm going to be there for her. In a way that makes sense for her and for myself, though. And, what she does with this opportunity is up to her. And I am not part of her backup plan. I am not willing to do that for her. It's just not in her best interest. And it's not in my best interest. It's not what's best for me and my relationship with my husband. We have my stepson to think about. And so all those things are important for me to consider. And I believe that what she does with this opportunity will be very telling for her. And she knows as well as I do that she has got to make this work. She's got to figure it out. She needs to figure out what she needs to do right now so that she can be a whole person. And so she's got a lot of healing to do still. And that's all good. I'm so grateful to be in this place right now where I don't have to have all the answers. I am not attached to what happens in 2 years from now. I couldn't even tell you what I'm going to be doing in 2 years, That's not for me to say right now. And so that's cool to see that I'm okay. I'm good with the answer that it depends. I'm okay with that. And being here today in the same place as I was with my daughter a couple of years ago when she was just a hot mess. And feeling peaceful, feeling at peace with myself and with her. God, that feels good. I go to a monthly leadership program. It's called Pathwise. It's pretty incredible. And last week we met, and the topic of the day was really about what makes you happy. And that's such a big question, isn't it? I mean, think about that for a second. If I was to ask you, what makes you happy? What do you want for yourself? And we went around the room and we all talked about it. And, just this idea that in the beginning you start with this, I guess the easy stuff. Like, I want my family to be healthy and happy, and I want to feel a sense of freedom in my life, and that I want to be able to contribute to society, and I want to share my voice and my gifts with the world. But when I kept kind of talking about it and diving deeper, I realized that I've got this fear about, like, with this book, because I'm getting ready, we're in the process of writing this book. And this idea that there's so many other people out there doing incredible work that are skilled and talented and are writing and putting their material out there and sharing their voices and talking about what needs to be talked about. And they have the education to stand on, and the certifications and the qualifications that makes them a reliable source. And why do I think that I need to write a book? And I guess you would call it the imposter syndrome. Like, what makes me think that I have something to say worth reading? And the truth is that I just have my own life experiences that I really had to claw my way through. Like, really I was talking about this with the class. I was sharing about, my daughter's addiction just a little bit. That I remember this time during my daughter's active addiction when I was so lost and I felt like the ground was going to fall out from underneath me at any moment. And just going back to that feeling of just feeling so unsure and how painful that was. And that when I started to figure out that when I let her addiction take me down, where I was just kind of paralyzed. And it was really hard for me to get up and out of bed, and I was so depressed. And what a disservice that I was doing to my daughter by allowing the pain and the hurt, because it was fucking painful. And I really didn't think I was going to make it. I mean, it was just a difficult time. And what a disservice that was to my daughter to let that fear and that pain kind of take over. And that when I finally started to figure out that I need to learn how to be joyful no matter what, regardless of what life throws at me, to remember how to connect to self and how to slow things down and how to be still in moments like that, and how to, how to remind myself how to step outside and turn my face up to the sky and to breathe and feeling that wind on my face. And incorporating moments of joy into my life, no matter how small they are, to incorporate as many of those moments into my life as I can during the hard times, especially, And that's what I want to write about. And I think that's okay that I want to write about that. Because as many people and experts as there are out there, none of them reached me in my darkest hours. So if a mom can connect to my story and I can reach her, that's what I want to do. And so if you're listening, I just want to close today's episode with just letting you know that you are not alone. I am reaching out to my hand to you, and I'm telling you that I love you, and I see you, and I hear you. And, with addiction, we are all at different stages in this journey, I guess, with our kids and whatnot. And I always say that where one addict's journey begins, another one ends. And there's just this flow, and we are connected as moms. And my heart is with you. And today, I just encourage you to show yourself the same love and compassion that you so freely give to others. And to remember that you are here on this earth for a reason, and that you have a voice, and that there are so many moms out here that understand what you're going through. You're not alone. And yeah, just to put yourself first for today and find some moments today that make you happy and bring you joy. When I'm feeling really stressed out, like I can't, if I'm feeling overwhelmed and anxious and things like that, I just try to be still and just feel my feet on the ground and just feel very held by the earth and feel reminded that we all feel pain. We all experience pain, and you are here for a reason. And I'm just sending you so much love on this journey. You are not alone. I hope that you find as many reasons as you can today to be grateful and loved and celebrated for who you are. And thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and for helping me to connect with other moms of addicts or loved ones who are struggling with addiction in their lives. If you have questions for me, comments, suggestions on future show content, or perhaps there's a specific topic that you would like to hear from an expert in the field, I would love to hear from you. I am also interested in sharing your voice. So if you have messages of hope or personal stories that you think would resonate with our listeners, please send me an email. You can type me out a message, or you can include an attachment to an audio clip with your voice. You can send that to Shar at beyondhoperadio.com. And with that, thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Hope. For show notes and more, head on over to beyondhoperadio.com.
A huge thank you to recoveryinnovators.com and James Healy. Thank you so much for putting up with me and for helping me to produce and launch the show. I couldn't have done it without you. You are so awesome. And to anybody else who has been considering working with James, highly recommend him. Please go over to his website and check it out, recoveryinnovators.com.